To be a run through of what our presentation might sound like, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. And I'll make comments as I go through this, and then feel free to give feedback. So the first thing that we'll do as they're coming in is have this pre-work up, so that they can go in right away and open up Safari and log into their Google Apps account. I figured out we would need to do this first because of the calendar piece. And they can't get into the calendar from Google Drive, the app, so they have to go in through the internet. And so I think we'll probably just have them open the Google Doc that way too. I will share it with everyone and we'll just do that. So as they're coming in, they'll click on Safari and they will open up their Google Apps, and then open up the calendar. And then there are a couple different ways on your iPad when you open up the Google website. You can see it in mobile view or desktop view, so we're going to want to make sure that they have it in desktop view because it's much more user-friendly that way, and easy to see what you're putting in for your appointment. So my thought on a lot of these things is when one person is presenting instructions, the rest of our group can be walking around helping people, to kind of minimize some of the issues with people getting stuck and things like that. So we'll have them do that as they're coming in, so hopefully people who get in there a little bit early can have that done right away. Then I'll present the objective that we're talking about, comparing and contrasting fairy tales today. And then I will have them in the Google Calendar enter the objective into what's going to be their digital planner. So I will just talk about that, since this is the first class of the day, we're going to click on 8 o'clock. Even though it might not be exactly 8 o'clock, if you click on time frames going throughout the day, it will line up just like in a paper planner, according to subject areas. So we'll have them put the heading, like we do in our Avid planners, and then the objective, and then if there's homework or not. And then I will have them also go down and change the color to green. So we'll say that this is an example of a way that you can color code your planner. If you have homework, it's a certain color. If you don't have homework, it's a certain color, things like that. So hopefully this won't take long. I know that there may be some fumbling around of how to use it, but if we can all split up and help people, this should only take a few minutes. Then we will go into the Skype piece. So they'll already be in Google, so they just have to go up and click on their drive and then go to their shared folder and open up the compare and contrast with Skype document. And I did experiment a little bit more with it, and you can see what people are typing from different iPads in the website in the Google Drive. It just doesn't show up with their little square up there, but you can still see what everybody's typing, and it automatically refreshes every couple seconds. Otherwise, if it's not, you can refresh it manually. So we'll have them go into the document, and then as soon as they have that open, I'll put in a Skype call to Jim, and we'll have him do his little showing around of the Spanish classroom. And then we'll just have them type in a few similarities and differences. Just give them a couple minutes and explain that that is a little hook. Okay, and then this is something I added because we will have Notability by Monday, is what the tech department tells me. I'm not going to put in the email for tomorrow to download Notability because I want to make sure that it's in there before we send that, and it's going to be different to download it because it's going to come from the self-service and not from the App Store. So I will send that one separately, hopefully on Friday, if we know for sure that it's in there by then. And I know that it's a lot to be putting things into and out of the note-taking app, So I just want to have them go in and see what it looks like, and the fact that there are folders or notebooks in there, so that they can see the visual of how it's a digital binder. So we'll just take a very short amount of time and do minimal things inside of Notability. But this kind of logically fits with, we'll just say that after the hook, we would take notes on comparing and contrasting before doing the Edmodo activity. So I'm going to have them go in and click on Notability, just create one notebook. I don't know if reading is the right subject area, so you guys can tell me if I need to change that. I don't know if you call it language arts or reading or English or what you would call this in the fairy tale lesson. So they will go and make a reading notebook and then create a new note. And then I will just show them a couple of different ways that you can take notes. And so we'll do that with Reflector. I will actually go into it and take notes on my iPad and reflect it up on the screen. So we'll do 2-column notes, which is an Avid strategy also. So I'll just draw my little line for the 2-column notes and then have them both write and type a couple notes just to kind of see how it works. And then I'll just show them a couple of features of how you can share that out then, and that it backs up to your Google Drive so it's safe, and how you can find your notes later and those kind of things. So I'll just show a few things on that. And then I forgot to say in the beginning, but I am going to do, like I said, a pretty nice long intro about why we're doing this, and that it's to model what a digital lesson might look like and as an end product. Certainly not day one, but these are many different aspects that at different levels you can pull from and use. Things that look like are intriguing to you, you might want to find out about first, but this is kind of your way of finding out what you want to learn more about, because there are going to be a lot of professional development opportunities coming up, and we don't want people to be blindly choosing what they are going to learn about, but to be more deliberate in what the sequence is based on what you want your classroom to look like when the students all have iPads, and what that workflow kind of looks like, and what are some lessons that you can do that way. So I will talk a lot about that, and I'm also going to just kind of start with this is all, I'm not a very technologically savvy person, but these are all things that I've learned on my own just in the last couple of weeks, to make sure that, if we're going to come in and ask people to be trying these things, that we know how to do them too, and that they're going to work in the classroom. And tell my little story about how when I call my brother, he automatically answers the phone help desk, because that's how many times I've had to ask him computer-related questions. And that he can't help me with this because all of my technologically savvy family members, my husband, my brother, my brother-in-law, all refuse to do anything Mac-related because, I don't know, they're techie. So I'll just try to lighten the mood and do some sharing of stories and talk about why we're doing this, and that it's not the expectation that they come out being able to do any of this, and that this is not a training. It's just to show them some ideas or some visual representations of what this could look like. Okay, so then we will go into the Edmodo piece. So I linked the instructions from the Google Doc to that. So we'll put this up full screen so that they can come up and click on the QR and go into Edmodo, and then we'll just give them some time with the directions up there, and we'll walk around and help people so that they can watch the video, read the article, and we can tell them they don't have to watch the whole thing or read the whole thing, but in the chat box, their compare and their contrast. And then I had a question here because I didn't know if we were still doing the quiz. I do think it would be worth it to just put even like a 2 or 3 question quiz, because they'll just click on the answers. It won't take very long, because that was a pretty big piece in showing why we decided, or how you would split the 2 groups up. And I think that's one of the really big advantages of this whole technology initiative, is the more personalized learning that you can, easily do formative assessments and instantly have feedback on how the kids are doing and where they should be going next. So if we can still throw a quick little quiz in there, that would be great. And then we don't have to take the time to analyze the data, obviously, to split them up. I think we'll just say, this is where now, maybe kind of show the data up on the screen and say, this is where as a teacher you could really easily split up into groups of students who understand or are proficient and students who aren't. And you'll see in the centers examples of what you might do with those kids. But for the sake of the adults in the room, we'll just split them up, this half of the room, this half of the room. And I thought if we kept the people who are doing the educations close to the screen, because then we can just keep the instructions up for that on the screen, and then the people doing the iBook can be farther in the back of the room. Okay, so that is that, and I have to get back to my thing. I don't know where it is. Whoops. Sorry. Alright. Where'd it go? That's not it. Okay, I'll just go through this so I can remember. Okay. Okay, so that's the last thing. So then they go to one center or the other. Sarah can lead the educations with them, have them download the app, and just, get a start on working on it. They obviously don't have to complete anything. And then the other group, a couple of us will just go with each group to help make sure everybody knows what they're doing. And then we'll just have them open the iBook and look through it a little bit and take the quiz, and then we can have them switch. So I think on that one we'll maybe just put like a 10-minute time limit or something. We can kind of see where we're at with time, and then have them switch so they have at least 5 to 10 minutes on the second center too, so they can see both of those. And then I thought the last thing that we could do is just talk about questions. So from this, you probably have a million questions. So if we can send them something, a Google Doc or a Google Form, whatever we think would be the most efficient, something where we can just email them the link and then they can go in and record their questions. I was kind of thinking like a Google Doc maybe, because then you'd see what everybody else was putting in as questions, so we don't have a bunch of the same ones. I don't know, you guys can tell me what you think about that. But we'll have some type of way for them to give feedback in their questions so that we can then put something together to bring back, that Erin can bring back to the staff to answer some of their questions. And some of them will be, like we talked about with Brian, these are things that are being worked on by a committee at the district. They're not things that need to be known right now, but the things that you really need to know in order to start planning, we're going to do our best to answer now for you. So that's what I'm thinking. Please let me know if there are things that you feel differently about or want to change. I just felt like we needed to get all the way through this to see how it was going to flow and make sure that we have all the logistics. So yeah, let me know what you think, and it's going to be great. No worries. And I so appreciate you guys helping with this. It's going to make a really big difference in how this all unfolds. So yeah, let me know. Have a good day or night, whatever it is when you watch this. Talk to you later.